You know that feeling after a long, stressful day? You're finally done with work, the noise has died down, but actually finding real rest, that can feel almost impossible. Well, today we're going to explore a really simple but profound practice that's all about bringing peace to your mind and soul right before you go to sleep. It's the practice of night prayer.
Okay, let's just get right into it. Because isn't this the truth? It's this weird paradox. The house is finally quiet, the world's asleep, but that's when our minds decide to turn the volume up to 11. The day's events, all those questions you couldn't answer, the worries, they're all just screaming for attention. And in those quiet moments, our hearts can feel incredibly heavy.
And this slide just lays it all out, doesn't it? It's the before and after picture. On the left, that's where so many of us live at night, a mind tangled up with restless thoughts. But on the right, that's the goal, a calm mind, a soul at rest, and deep, refreshing sleep. So the big question is, how do we get from the left side to the right side?
Well, the approach we're exploring today sees prayer as more than just a ritual. It's a genuine pathway. It's a way to consciously and deliberately walk from that state of mental chaos to one of real calm and trust before your head even hits the pillow. And this path is broken down into 3 really clear intentional steps. First, you start with an offering of gratitude. Then, the big one, the surrender of your burdens. And finally, you make a request for peace and protection. Let's break each of these down.
So let's dig into that first step because it's the foundation for everything else. It doesn't start with asking for anything. It starts with giving thanks. It's all about just taking a moment to acknowledge the day you just lived, with all of its good parts and its tough parts.
And what's so powerful here is the language, right? The prayer isn't thank you for a good day. It's thanks for the day, whatever it was, whether it was joyful or a huge challenge or just plain exhausting. The whole point is accepting it and then releasing it into God's hands. So what does this actually do? Well, it creates this huge shift both psychologically and spiritually. Instead of replaying every mistake or frustration from the day, gratitude makes your brain scan for what you were given, even if that was just the strength to make it through. You acknowledge the journey of the day, and that lays down a foundation of peace before you even get to your worries.
And that brings us to the second step. And for a lot of us, this is the toughest one. It's the conscious choice to let go. This is about actively taking all those anxieties that keep your mind racing and just handing them over.
And again, listen to how direct and intentional this is. It's an offering. It's saying, here are my worries, my troubles, all the thoughts I can't figure out on my own. It's a direct plea to have that weight lifted, admitting that we don't have to and maybe can't carry it all by ourselves.
You know, when it comes right down to it, this whole act of surrender is really an act of trust. It's a powerful statement that you believe you're not alone, that God is present and capable. You're letting go of that need to be in control, especially over things you can't change while you're lying in bed. And that's what finally lets our minds get quiet.
So after you've given thanks and you've surrendered your burdens, we get to the final part of the prayer, and that's asking for divine peace and protection to cover you through the night. The source material describes this in such a cool way. It's like creating supernatural armor or an invisible shield around your soul. The idea is that this prayer actively guards you from all the stuff that can mess with your rest. Negative thoughts, anxious dreams, and all those vague fears that love to show up in the dark.
So what's the point of this piece? It's not just about stopping bad dreams. It's about calming your thoughts so you can get that deep, restorative sleep that actually recharges you. It's about creating a safe space for your soul to be nourished, so you don't just wake up tired. You wake up with new strength, new hope, and new faith for whatever the next day brings. And the whole practice ends with this beautiful, simple image. It's about wanting to sleep with the same carefree trust that a little kid has in their parents' arms. It's really the ultimate expression of surrender, asking for a rest that isn't just physical, but deeply spiritual. Just a picture of perfect, protected peace.